speak to God's people and understanding that you all edify as I edify myself as well. And the importance of, even with that song, and you did see those bees sing, you see those cry out to Yah, Kadesh, holy, right? We know holy means sanctified, set apart, purified. Matthew 5, he tells us, be ye therefore holy, with your heavenly Father which is in heaven, he's also holy. So, praise Yah for that. I want to come, titles here going to be, While Men Slept. While men slept. While men slept. So that Matthew 5 will be ye therefore perfect as well, right? Be ye therefore perfect. Peter tells us be holy. Leviticus 19 tells us be holy. While men slept. We're going to start in the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 13. Matthew 13. We're going to read this parable. And the Messiah kind of encompasses everything from who we are, who can we be, and all the way to the end of this age. It just says end of the world. And many of us familiar with this parable, the wheat and the tares. I just want to break it down to show where we stand. But Matthew 13, and let's get right into it. Start at verse 24.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth to them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed a seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat, and went his way.
Okay, hold off right there. While men slept, the enemy came, sowed his seed, and went his way. That's what our enemy want to do. All he want to do is just plant what? Plant a seed. Because eventually you keep going with that seed, you keep watering that seed going to what? It's going to grow. Keep going.
Verse 26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst now thou sow good seed in thy field, from which they had been tares? He said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, without then that we go and gather them up. But he said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat.
Okay, and on that end, we're going to touch on that a little bit later as well. While you gather up the tares, you may root up some of the wheat also, right? We're going to touch on that a little later as well. Finish up in verse 30.
Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
Praise God for that. And we see here about when men slept. Now this only dealing with, we say, literal just men, without apart from the women, or this mankind right here. With this word here, while men slept, anthropos, right? Which means the whole human family. This is the human being, that is the Greek 444, human being, whether male or female, generally include all human individuals. So we're saying about the human family. We're going to see certain things while we are sleeping, how the enemy is attacking. We always want to keep our guard and understand the purpose of this here. Let's get the interpretation of it, and let's break it down after that. Can we skip down to verse 36 through 43? 36 through 43.
Matthew 13, verse 36. And Yeshua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came to him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked.
Okay, let's get that going right now. We say what? Who sowed the good seed? There you go. Okay. Who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man, right? We know sure he sowed the good seed, right? The field is the what? The world, right? And the good seed are who now? All right. And the tares are the children of who? All right. Go ahead. Verse 39.
Verse 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
Mm.
The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
Okay. So we have the whole compass right there, right? The reapers are the angels. The harvest is the end of the world, or the end of this age, right? And we know the enemy is who? The devil. Hasatan. Verse 40.
Verse 4. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world.
Mm-hmm.
The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all the things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who have ears to hear, and that do hear.
Hallelujah. I want to concentrate on verse 41. He already tell us who he's coming after, who the angel's going to get out of his kingdom. He said all those that offend, that do what? That do iniquity. That do iniquity. So we're going to see how things just tie in all together, and we understand, okay, let's take it back. Because it's always good to know who your enemy is. You know, when I used to play this sport, couldn't stand watching film. All we did was watching film. Let us do what? Man, just watching that. And they say, well, this is who your opponent is, to know their strategies, right? But in the end, I started liking it because I started seeing, okay, what are their strategies and what plays they're going to run for what? To prepare me for when we are actually on the field or on the court, I'm better prepared. I know the angles they're coming from, right? So it's good for us to know our enemy, our Satan. And the Messiah let us know as well his tactics. Can we go to John chapter 8? And Brad, this is like telling people this is like a series right here. I wanna get the groundwork going, but for we can get to see how it's all set up. But this parable here, it opened up a whole lot to keep us focused, because we want to be in that kingdom, the kingdom of Yah. But look at John chapter 8. Let's start at verse 21. Read 21 through 27. 21 through 27.
John chapter 8, verse 21. Then said Yeshua again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said the Jews, Will he kill himself? Because he said, Whither I go, ye cannot come. And he said unto them, Ye are from below, I am from above. Ye are of this world, and I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you, that ye shall die in your sins, for ye believe not
And that's the key right there. The Father represents what? Truth. He that sent me is what? Truth. And we understand that in John 4, as he said, when you worship the Father, you must worship him in spirit and in what? Truth, right? And the Messiah letting them know, I'm from above, I'm not from this place here, from beneath. Let me ask y'all a question. Where's our enemy from? Below? He from above too. That's why I say this is more powerful than anything below can handle. This is way more powerful than anything below can handle. And let it know, if you don't believe that I am who I am, you're gonna die in your what? You're gonna die in your sins. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Now with me again on this here. We've got a lot of reading, but we're gonna be breaking the groundwork because seeing how our Savior is from above and our enemy that's from above, and all of us which is from beneath. What tactics we must do to overcome our enemy. Drop down to 31.
John 8:31. Then said Yeshua to those Jews which believe on him, if you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Yeshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
Okay? So we know a servant of sin, if you're a servant, that means you what? You are committing iniquity or sin. You're a servant too. And that's just the tactics on everything, like when we coming out of darkness, but when we was in that darkness, and you see those that still in that darkness, you see what they serve. You see how the lifestyle is. And you see the deception that's right there with it, because it's like that's all they want. That's all I used to want. So you recognize that, man, it's a trap. It's something that we need help. We need deliverance from. But we know our own self, that's impossible. Drop down to 43. Read 43 through 47.
He was a murderer
Yes.
from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Which of you convince me of sin? Sorry, 46. Which of you convince me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is Elohim heareth Elohim's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Elohim.
Thank you for that. So we recognize, as we already seen, what he told us in that parable, Satan has what? He has children too. He has children too. And we recognize that truth is what those of Yah, the Heavenly Father, that's what we listen to. That's what we yearn for. We know that anything that is not of truth, it can't be of who? It can't be of Yah. And that's how I want to try to make it real basic. Or it won't be any, because you're going to understand that Satan is clever. I don't give him any glory, but I do recognize he's clever. He is more powerful than me. He's subtle. And when we recognize that there is no lie of the truth, right? Anything that's a lie, who's the father of lies? It's from him. It's from him. And that's when we back up, we pull that, we're going to start recognizing things, certain things what we watch, what we listen to, certain things, how we care. We got to recognize and say, man, hold on. It's not as innocent as you may think, right? Because if it's a lie, it's of who? It's of Satan. Some of these box hit movies that we go to, hey, trying to tell you, you better check the root behind it. If it's a lie, we know it's not of the Most High. Let's check out some of, because like he said from the beginning, he was a liar. He let us know how. Let's go back to Genesis. Remember the parable he said, he sowed good seed. Can you read Genesis 1, verse 31? Genesis 1:31.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. And Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. In the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So everything he created was very what? It was very good. Maybe he said, while men slept, an enemy came and planted terrors. So that wasn't good. Chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, look at verse 16 and 17. We know the story. What was the commandment? Genesis 2, 16 and 17.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 16. And Yah, Elohim, commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for the day thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
Okay, so thou shalt surely die, right? When you do this, this is going to happen. Drop down to chapter 3. Let's see why he's the father of lies. Start at verse 1. 1 through 7 for me.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, ye have Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it.
Okay, I just want to touch right there before you say, oh, let's finish that up there?
Lest ye die.
Lest she die. So, did she know? She knew, right? Now, some people add on and say, well, man, never said touch it. You can't find that nowhere. She adding to the word and Satan can creep him in there. We not, okay, you want to hold to that. But the thing is, she knew what she was not supposed to do. Next verse.
Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For Elohim do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as Elohims, knowing good and evil.
So verse 4 let us know that's the first one. That's why he's called the father of lies. That's why he's called the father of lies. Because with him, Most High said, you eat of this tree, you're going to die. The serpent said, you're not going to die. Somebody's lying. And we know who it is. Well, when we say we know that any separation of the Most High is a spiritual death. because as you say, the day of, we know they did eat it that day, but physically they didn't die that day in the natural. But we know they were separated because of what sin encompassed. And the Most High, like we saw with the Messiah, he had to forsake himself away from it because he can't dwell with sin. So people say, well, they didn't die that day. That was, well, yes, they did die spiritually that day. That's why we're going to touch on that a little more as well. But the day of, when we say the day of, the day can be another time period we're going to discuss. Brother Wells and I, we're going to discuss that later on too about days. But the day of can be a period of time. So we see that death entered because of what Adam did, because of sin. And drop down. You finish that? You verse 7. You're
In verse 7, in the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Again, that's what we do. This is a work that's beyond human. See, right now, when they did try to cover their sin. They try to do it how? Physically, it's there. But remember, we're dealing with something that's what? Spiritual. Physical cannot cover what we do spiritually. This is bigger than sowing fig leaves. This is going to be a work of another spiritual being. Let's look at the first prophecy. He dropped down to verse 14 and 15. Read those two.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. And Yah Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon the belly shalt thou go, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put my enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
There it is. That's the prophecy there. There we got two seeds about to battle now. As you kind of see it throughout, you see what we say good versus evil, right? You see it throughout. Moses, Pharaoh, you see Jacob, Esau, Isaac, Ishmael. You just start seeing it throughout, right? Now let's look at some of Satan's seeds. Let's look at some, when we say, we know the children of Satan, and then you kind of hear it all the time. But let's check out some characteristics of, like Messiah said, the lust thereof, you're going to know them. And let's see some examples of children of Satan. The other name is called a Belial, right? And that word is in the Hebrew 1100. It means wicked, evil, good for nothing, right? Let's look at an example of some of the children of Belial, the children of this evil one. You go to the book of Judges 19. Just read these three verses. Read 22 through 25. Judges 19, 22 through 25. Everything's written for example for us.
Judges 19, verse 22. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, they set the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
Okay, just get the little history what's going on. This is when this man, this Levite, he looking for he brought his concubine. His concubine played the whore on him, and he went to go find her. He found her. Now he's heading back after he went to the father's house and her father's house and bring her back home. And he lodged in the street, and he went to this place, Gibeah, and they was this old man went on and took him to his house. And while they were sitting out, they drinking and being merry, and now you have these men of Belial come to the door. Next verse.
Verse 23. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brother, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly.
Hold on, do not sow what? Do not sow wickedly. These men wanted to know the visitor that came in. They want to know that man. And he called that what? We recognize, he said, do not sow wickedly, right? We call this act today what? Be sodomy, be homosexual, right? He said, do not sow wickedly. Go ahead.
Seeing that this man is coming to my house, do not this follow.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Then I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine, and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her, and abused her all the night until the morning. And when they began to scream, they let her go.
I'm sorry, I'm going to touch my son. That's tough right there. I mean, that's a tough sin. I mean, he was, man, why did he even do that? You know, you hear it up. Why did that even happen? You know? I mean, you got kind of like you see the same episode happen when the days of Lot. And you kind of see where, and to take a scale back could be a sign of wisdom, where what did these men want in the first place? They wanted men, not what? Not women. And now, just to say that person did what they did, not saying that was what? That was right either. But we just see the act of it. They did what? These men of Belial abused that woman. They abused them. So we also see that is what? That's a seed planted by who? By Satan, Hasatan. Homosexuality, abusers. These things are not what? That's not of who? It's not of Yah. If it's not of Yah, it gotta come from who? From Satan. Let's look at another one. 1 Samuel, chapter 1. Look at verses 15 and 16. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 15 and 16. Right now we're just looking at why men slept, seeing about children of Belial, the acts of it. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 15 through 16.
1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 15. And Hannah answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of a soul spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before God. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of mine, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken.
So Hannah, those that know this story, she was praying. She was what? She was barren. She wanted a child. And she went to the temple, and Eli came to it and made a comment to it. Thought she was what? Thought she was drunk because she was talking to him. When she was praying herself, her lips was moving. So he felt she was drunk. And then Hannah let her know, no, don't count your daughter as a daughter of who? I am. Right? So we recognize that what? Drunkenness, right? Drunkenness is also a seed planted by who? By Hasatan. You can be drunk more just on what? On wine. Anything that calls that mind not to be what? Sober. Scripture called it, be sober-minded. Be sober-minded. And I treat it all the time. Weed, hey, I can't find it nowhere in the Bible. I say, well, let me ask you a question. Your brain controls every part of your body. How do you know you are high? I mean, your brain being what? It's being altered. It's been altered. You're not being what? Sober. Scripture call that drunkenness. You get drunk off narcotics, alcohol, even. Oh well, that does say on it was a false doctrine. We're looking at things where people ingest what they're saying just because they don't see in the point where they want to see exactly that little phrase. Or you look at the principal matter is there, and it encompasses it all. It encompasses it all. Let's drop down to another one. Look at 1 Samuel 2, 12 through 17. 1 Samuel chapter 2, 12 through 17. We're looking at sons, daughters of Belial. 1 Samuel 2, 12 through 17.
Samuel 2, starting at 12. Now the sons of Eli were the sons of Eli.
That's playing right off, right? Go ahead.
They knew not Elohim.
Let's stop there. Let's look at this. These were sons of the priests of Eli. The priest, as Brother Wells brought that message last week, the role of the priest was to educate and bring forth the law, things of Yah. And they didn't have a relationship. When I would say didn't know Yah, we know the point of saying, well, they knew that, they heard of him, they knew there was an Elohim whose name was Yah. But what we understand, they didn't know Yah, they didn't have that what? They didn't have that relationship with Yah. That's why I say, you don't have a relationship with Yah, I mean, you have a relationship with who then? With Hasatan. If it's not Yah, it's automatic the other. It's that simple. If it's not Yah, it's automatic the other. So as you see here, they didn't know Yah, but they were sons of who? Belial. That's how these sons of Belial behave.
Verse 13. So, and the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came while the flesh was in the seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan, kettle, pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself.
So it's just basically like a fork, a big fork, right? All they did was stuck that fork in. Whatever came up on that fork was for the priest. That's simple. They stuck it in there, and then whatever came up was for them. While it was siding, while it was, we say, boiling. All right? Go ahead.
So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came. Also before they burnt the fat, the priest's servants came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to the bulls for the priest, for he would not have sodden the flesh of the offering. And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desire. And he would answer him, nay, but thou shalt give it to me. Give it to me now.
So his guy didn't want to wait to the custom that was already there. He wanted what? Because he get what? He'd get more that way. He get the whole thing. He's not on that saying, now wait till we do it as he say, then he can get what his soul desire. Once he put that fork in, whatever come out, that's it. And they we don't want it that way now. And they say they what? They about to force that way. Go ahead.
And if not, I will take it by force. 17. Wherefore the sins of the young men was very great before Yah. For men abhor the offering of Yah.
So you have people even want to do the offerings. That's serious. Because of what? Because of what the priests are doing. Ain't that something? You got people don't even want to come before. They got an ill taste towards the Most High because of what the leaders, how they behaving. How they behaving. Now it's like, well, naturally, if this person ain't doing it, then they not following. But they give somebody without that understanding how they looking at it. Look at it now. Drop down to verse 22.
Verse 22. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Now this ain't nothing new underneath the sun, right? You got these deacons and all these, they sleeping with the women. Women coming heartbroken and coming with they want to take advantage of that. Okay, man, it's okay. Come to my office, man. Let's have a conversation. How you doing? What? Oh, that's messed up. Let me console you a little bit. Sleeping with the women to do it to them. Coming to there to give they whatever it is, but ain't nothing new underneath the sun. So again, we see here they was what we call that extortion, taking things by force, lying, doing things where out of neglect by you forcing things upon people, right? Let's go to 1 Samuel 3, a little more about Eli. 1 Samuel 3, and let's look at verse 11. So we know we're dealing with the sons of Belial, children of Satan.
Verse Samuel, chapter 11 through 13. And Yah said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, in which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. And in that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house, which I began, and I will also make it end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not.
He said, which he know it, right? So we understand extortion, what they doing. They fornicating, what they doing. He withholding correction. Is that serious? If you don't withhold correction, don't do those things that is gonna hurt that child, because it's not we listening to these so-called counselors without counsel, without knowledge of the Most High. It's worldly counsel. Oh, no, don't do that. He calls them to be more violent. They see you with, oh, no, please don't. Just take a toy away or something. Put them in that corner, maybe face the wall. Right? You don't want to teach them violence. It's too much violence. Say, where that at? Where that at? No, I would have just, you mind real quick, go to Proverbs 23. Let's look at that right quick. Proverbs 23, start at verse 13. Let's start at verse 13. Read 13 and 14. Proverbs 20, 13 and 14.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul.
Is that love? That's hey, hey. See, for them, they're gonna say CPS on his way for you, right? But that's why I said I saw that there. Hey, when I recognized, most of all of them, we recognize that. Hey, the child, no, you're not wanting. But like even Scripture say in Hebrew, what child like chastening anyway? We don't want chastening, right? We want to make it to this kingdom. We recognize, hey, too much tribulation gonna come to make it to this kingdom. But who looking forward to that? Right? See, it be the beat time. You delivering his soul from what? From hell. See, that's love. But we gonna show it. Bear with me. I want to just get this set up. Let's get this set up going. All right, let's go down. Let's go back of Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 30. Let's give you the play going on. This when David, David was went to go fight, and the Amalekites, and they was in Ziklag, and this man, they came and they stole their goods, right? And they kidnapped the wives and the children. And these people were so upset they even wanted to stone David because they was upset. And David, that's why I enjoy as well, David had to edify himself because everybody else around him wanted him, they wanted him gone. They were about to stone him. So let's pick it up from there. Let's start at verse 21. 1 Samuel 30, verse 21. So now David got these 600 men, and you're going to see, they start off with 600. We're going to see what happened from here.
1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet David, to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and the men of Belial.
Here we go, men of Belial, what they do.
But those that went with David, he said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, which Yah have given us, who have preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand.
So to break this down here, David had these 600 men. These other 200 was tired, man. They couldn't even, they were so faint. They said they stayed with the stuff. So he took those other 400. And then on return, David met those 200, and David even saluted them. Now, you got these men of Belial came and said, we ain't finna get him nothing. But they didn't what? They didn't come out to battle with us. Then they said, what we recovered. What we recovered. And David had to humble them and let them know that, no, that's not how we roll. That's not how we roll. Read verse 23 again.
Then David said, ye should not do so, my brother, with that which Yah have given us.
Who gave this to us? Keep going.
Who hath preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand.
See, it was Yah's doing. This wasn't us. When we want glory for ourselves, that's another seed from who? Out the top. I know we wanted that pound that back. I don't know who did it. I don't know who did me. No, he said, no, they want to get just what we have because we don't want to be them type of people who not looking out for the whole community. If they hurt, we should what? We should hurt, right? Not none of that stuff where the children of Belial, as you see here, in the same camp with King. We went to King at the time, but with David. We know he was anointed. So greed, glorying in your own abilities, we know that's not of who? Not of Yah. Gotta be careful, because why? So you can easily plant that seed. And when we start believing on our own what? Our own self. And that's all he wants, just a seed to get planted. And it's so easy to get that head gets so big that it's like, damn, I am. Yeah, I know, I appreciate that. You can say, want to kiss your own hand. We've seen a whole lot of that. Let's look at some more. Then we're going to kind of get the depths of behind. Look at 1 Kings 21. Looking at again these children of Belial. Oh my. This is gonna be on the other series when I talk more. Cause this person here, I kind of go a little more depth with these people here. But we're just touching on actions. Everybody know about Jezebel. But let's start at verse 1 Kings 21. Let's start at verse 8.
First Kings chapter 21, verse.
And let's get the history. I'm just cutting to the middle. We kind of know this story as well. This is when Ahab wanted his vineyard of Naboth. And now he all crying and upset because Naboth didn't want to sell him the vineyard. And we know that Ahab even tried to offer him money, even tried to offer him another vineyard. He's like, no, I can't get this because this is what? This is the inheritance of my family. I don't want to sell it. And then Ahab went in there and started pouting. And Jezebel kind of, what's wrong with you, boy? Ain't you the king? Let me take care of this. So this is what we're picking up right now.
First Kings chapter 21, verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal. And sent the letters unto the elders and the nobles that were in his city, dwellings in them. And she wrote in the letters, saying, claim a feast,
A fast.
proclaim a fast, and set the bar on high among the people. And set two men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, thou hast this blasphemy of him and the king. And then carry him out and stone him, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles, who were in the inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letter which he had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set the bar on high amongst the people. And there came in two men, children of Belial, sat before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, and even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme Elohim and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with the stones, that he died.
Jezebel was cold. We got a lot of Jezebels, a lot of daughters of lying, right? And this is another thing too. She went to the nobles and the leaders, and they even know that was what? It was a lie. And they did what? They followed along with it. We gotta be careful too. When we recognize unrighteousness, we don't wanna what? We don't wanna just follow along with it. Because again, we are commanded to be what? Separate, holy. Because you understand, we live in a world that's full of what? Darkness and wickedness. So as we seen here, these nobles, these leaders, and they try to proclaim a fast, making people more like, man, I ain't getting what I want. We got to do something about it. Knowing, and then what we seeing here, these two men of Belial, we know they was what? Liars. So we already know the father of lies is who? Satan. So here's another, so we understand, going on with evildoers and liars, guess what? That's another seed planted by Hasatan. That's another. Sons of perdition, as also is quoted, was saying in what we call the Apostles' writing. We call the so-called New Testament. Just touch on two of them. Can we look at John chapter 12, verses 3 through 6? Son of perdition. That's another title he's known for. Son of perdition. Because we know Hasatan, he's going to the lake of fire. There's no deliverance for him. As we talked last time with Sister Carla about, about that false prophet. She brought it out, thinking everybody gonna be saved. What's his name again? There he is. So, son of perdition. Can you go to John 12? Can you read that 3 through 6? John 12, 3 through 6.
John 12, verse 3. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then said one of the disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him, why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? Then he said, not that he had cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, and he had the bad and bare split their pay.
Hey, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Stop at verse 6. I want to stop there at verse 6. People not a front, though. I mean, that sound good. I mean, you can think about that, man. People, I mean, that sound good, Judas. Why are you wasting this? We could have sold this and give it to the poor. Oh, man. That sound good. But we recognize, so you can't, again, you can't lie to them. He sees straight through all that. He sees straight through all that. So as you see there, he didn't care about the poor. He was a thief. Like, man, that could have been more for me right there. That could have been more for me. Let's read one verse in 17. John 17, verse 12. We're going to finish it with these sons of Belial.
John chapter 17, verse 12. While I was with them at the birth, I kept them in thy name. Those thou gavest me I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the sons of perdition, that the scriptures might be fulfilled.
The son of perdition. And we know that was who? That was Judas. Judas was the son of perdition. Judas was a what? He was a thief. Right? We're going to see now, stealing, thieves, that's a what? That's another attribute. That's another of what? Make it plain. How then can we be the children of Yah? Because guess what? With all these things I'm saying, we guilty as well. We guilty as well. Not being like no Pharisees, acting like we, just ain't no. We right there beating our chest. Don't even want to look up. Give me a sin. We guilty as well. We're going to show the difference between children of Belial and the children of the kingdom. Right? Let us look back at the parable of Yeshua. This is what he said. When we was there in Matthew chapter 13, I'm just going to read verse 27 right quick. I'm going to read 27 through 30. The parable of Yeshua, because we want to dig into this, and now let's get the understanding on it and close it out. He said, sir, did not thou sow good seed in thy field? Yes, he did do that. We recognize that. Genesis 1:31, everything he did was what? It was good. From whence then it have tares? He answered that. An enemy have done this. We recognize who that enemy is. That's who? House of Time, right? The servant said unto him, would thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until when? Until the harvest. What do you mean about you may root up some of them, my wheat, when you're getting those tares? Because if you know, wheat and tares look just alike. Like in a mix, if you was right there on the outside and you were watching the Messiah, as you have saw them, all those things that he was doing, and then you had those 12 apostles right there with him as well, you would be like, look at us, look at just natural thing. When I was the entourage, you be just on natural thing. My whole thing, Earth saw, just say anybody, somebody would, they had an MC Hammer or somebody, he had his little big group or whatnot. He would just want to be part of that entourage. Oh man, he with this person, he with, but think about the Messiah. And he got these 12 apostles. So from the outside, you think all of them were. Not knowing that Judas was the son of Belial. But from the outside, you can't tell. Because you're thinking that, man, he's with the Messiah. All these people in these fellowships. Y'all will see. We already experienced a lot of things, right? A lot of people we didn't fellowship with. You think, oh man, we right there. Not knowing that could have been a what? It could have been a terror right there. But from the outside and everything what it is, we just what it is with us. But we say, you'll know them by their fruits. Now check this out. Because this is what we got to understand. You don't know how that person may turn out in due time. Yeah, right now they may be a terror. And to that angel, you may see in what he's seeing. He said, no, you may get some of my wheat. Because at that time, you see that person right there doing those things there, you don't know how they may be a year, 2 years, 5 years now. You'd be like, oh, if you looked at Paul, Shual, and at that time when you think about Stephen, people call Stephen, his last act of Paul was what? He holding consent to his what? His murder. He holding the very, and they stoning him. So his very last thing saying, Paul, he's a what? He's a murderer. He's consenting to my own death. Not knowing this guy here was a chosen vessel of who? So he said, no, you don't know. Don't take them up yet. You may get some of my what? You may get some of my wheat. Because you right now, they look like what? They look like tares. That's why he said, 1 Corinthians 4:5. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5.
Judge nothing before the time until y'all come. Both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the heart. And then shall every man have praise of God.
Don't judge nothing before the time. Because for you don't have a clue. You don't know. Now, we know who do know, but you don't know. That's why, even right now, by faith, I'm claiming to be a child of the Most High. I must endure to the what? To the end. By faith, I'm claiming that. He knows if I really am or not. That person you may think right now doing with it, they may be one, and this other person not. Let's see. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 2. 2 Timothy chapter 2. You read verse 19. We're going to read 19 through 22. 2 Timothy 2, 19 through 22. We're talking about now how we become the children of the kingdom. Because we all was in that dark. We always say was sleeping. But this is why men slept. 2 Timothy 2, 19.
Verse 19. Nevertheless, the foundation of Elohim standeth sure, having this seal. Y'all know it, them that work is. And let everyone that nameth the name of Messiah depart from iniquity.
Okay, let's stop there. Y'all know those that are his. See, he know. He know those that are his. But guess what? You don't. You know. He know. So that's why you got to treat everybody as what? Because I don't know why this person may be. That may be a child of who? Most High. So I got to treat everybody with love. Because by faith, I'm claiming to be his. And he said, if you claim my son, he said something you must do. What you must do? You must depart or turn from sin. That's what it say. That's a Must. And it's that serious. It's that serious. So if you claiming him, you claiming his son, you must depart from sin. Now, they say, how are you going to do it? Look at verse 20 now.
Verse 20. But in the great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, also wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor.
So we see, and kind of like how it was, and I don't know how when y'all live, we really didn't have too much, but we went to my grandma's house. She had little stuff we kind of always want to go. But she had this little cabinet. They called it the China up in there. I'm like, man, I one time for to get in there, boy, your choice. Boom. I'm like, just a plate. But and it was there for decoration. But hey, you go get one of them plates or that little paper plate over there, right? That's not for. So we recognize, but when they did use it, when will you use that? For a special occasion. And then they bring out to you, now you realize, man, this got to be something important. They using the stuff in the cabinet. Man, you can't get that bowl to get some cereal in there and to put it back up and say, right? There's something you can't do. So he said, even the Most High say in his house, right? Because he already said there's a seal in that foundation. The whole we understand about that foundation, once you seal it, that's it. Like he's saying your plumbing, everything gotta be what? Because once somebody say, man, hey man, we already done that, and they kind of say, we gotta do a change over that's gonna cost you more. We do some changes now. So you better make sure everything before them. Once this thing's sealed, that is what? It's done. And he let us know. In his house, you got vessels of honor, and you also got vessels of what? His son. I want to be a vessel of honor. Let's see what he say, how to be a vessel of honor. Read verse 21.
Verse 21. If a man therefore purge himself from those, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, prepared unto every good.
So you got to purge yourself. Purge yourself from what? From sin. You got to depart from it. Because you want to be used. Because you're going to be used regardless. You're going to be used for a vessel of honor, or you're going to be used for a vessel of what? You're getting used. You're going to get used. Who did he use for a vessel of dishonor? It's Pharaoh in what land? In Egypt. He was used for a vessel of dishonor. Moses was used for a vessel of what? Honor. So you're going to be used regardless. But if you want to be used for a vessel of honor, you must do something. You must what? Purge yourself. And then also what it tells, verse 22.
Verse 22. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace, with them that call on Yah out of
A pure heart. That's what it's about. This is why we come down and become children of who? Children of the kingdom. Because why? We're trying to get out of this sleep. Okay? We're going to close. These are the last verses on this study here. And let's touch on what's about to be said here. That's why the title of this, Why Men Slept. A lot of those that are sleeping right now are the children of who? The lie, yeah, children of sin. They're sleeping. They're going against who? The Most High. And we see the acts. And that's why he said for us, can't point fingers, because we once also was what? Right? But praise the Most High for his mercy and his grace. Now look at 1 Corinthians 15. We're going to end it in Romans. When we get to Romans, y'all can do that side. 1 Corinthians 15, let's start at verse 33.
Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived, evil communications corrupted good manner. Awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not knowledge of I speak this to your shame.
Thank you. So we gotta wait to what? So when we sleeping, you gotta awake to righteousness. Awake. Because why? When we all remember them evil communications, did they corrupt good manners? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Think about all the cursing, all the boasting. Next thing you know, what else gonna come? Sin right there at the door. It's right there. Why you say be angry, but what? Sin not. Well, a lot of people gonna make you angry. My wife get mad at me every day. I gotta run. Awake to righteousness and sin not. Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5. Brother, so can you read verses 13 and 14? Ephesians 5, verses 13 and 14.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 13. But all things that are proved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doeth make manifest is light. Wherefore he says, Awake thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Messiah shall give thee light.
Thank you. Awake thou that what? That sleepest. While men slept, that's when the enemy come. But when he did his part, we all was partakers. My next title, we got my other series on this here. It's dealing with, it's called Snares and Traps. Right now, we're just touching on how to become a child of the Most High and understanding the children of Belial. Awake. As it's a spiritual thing, but we recognize this here. As my sister said earlier, you remember in John 11, you had that natural where he told him, Lazarus is sleeping. And they said, well, he'll get better. And he had to let him know Lazarus what? Is dead. Right? When you're looking at sleeping in a spiritual standpoint, it means that you're not following the ways of the Most High. That's why he said while men slept, that's when the enemy can plant his seeds. And we recognize for us, that's why he's saying awake out of what? Sleep. Then it said awake and do not, then sin not. And I'm going to read this here in Romans chapter 8. I'm sorry, Romans 13. Because this is going to be the summation of the message. As we recognize, he gave a parable of the wheat and the tares. And we want to be wheat. We don't want to be the tares. But let's look at Romans 13. And let's start at verse 8. I'm going to read and close it out here. Romans 13, verse 8. He say, owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. Verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. As we see the children of Belial, they're not loving thy neighbor as themselves. And we see, he took it further. He said, love me as I have loved you. Verse 10, Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. And that knowing the time, that now is high time, what he tells us to do? Awake out of what? Wake out of sleep. Because when you're sleeping, you're going against it. We want to wake out of what? Out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of what? Darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. As you saw those children of Belial, as we see examples, we want to do the opposite of that. In verse 14, but put ye on the Master Yeshua Messiah, and do what? Make not provision for the flesh. See, that's the key. Don't put yourself in a situation for this flesh to do what? See, it's like he told Cain, which we didn't touch on here, as we could at 1 John 3, where it says Cain is of who? He's of that wicked one. But he didn't love his what? He didn't love his brother. He actually slew his brother. Paul said, I boast in my infirmities. I don't boast in my strengths. When you know your weaknesses, that's what you should boast in. Don't put yourself, because this flesh is what? This flesh is weak. Don't think that you something that is simple. I mean, it really is. If you got a problem with drunkenness, don't go to a what? A bar. Right? Don't put yourself in that situation. You got a problem dealing with fornication, adultery, these things here. Repent from it. Because then you know, you repent from those things there. Don't put yourself in a situation where you and this other female, y'all just right there. Don't put yourself in them situations right there. So you gotta, he say, make no what? Provisions for it. Don't allow that situation to happen where now you say, oops, I slipped. Then it says, when you don't make no provision for the flesh to fulfill what? The lust thereof. Because your flesh always want to do wicked. Remember, Galatians 5, it said they're opposite of one another. The spirit want to go this way, the flesh want to go that way. They would never ever what? They'll never agree. Never agree. So for us, that's why you got to sleep. We know who the children of Belial, the actions of the children of Belial. That's why I said we coming out of that darkness into this marvelous light. We're doing his will now, and not the will of our own. And walking in obedience towards his calling. Hallelujah. Thank you for your time.